With Mass Effect Andromeda looming ever closer, we at gameranx wanted to take a quick moment to review the entirety of Mass Effect so we know where we are as events coming up start to expose where we're going. In keeping with that, here is a rapid explanation of the Mass Effect trilogy. Something to point out really quick, Mass Effect has a branching storyline. We're going to attempt to dance around that a little bit, keep it at a minimum, and make sure that everything makes sense. But bear in mind it's a far-reaching, long story with a lot of information in it, so we are distilling it down quite a bit here. We're going to start at Mass Effect 1, work our way forward, and then way back. Okay, so about nearly 2 centuries into the future, supposedly humanity discovers something called a mass relay. These are essentially devices that kind of act as teleporters and hyperspace initiators and shoot you around the galaxy at an incredible pace. At the center of the Mass Effect relay network is the Citadel, where the entirety of galactic civilization congregates. The Human Alliance works its way into the society mainly through diplomacy and attempts to make a place on the galactic stage for itself. You, Commander Shepard, an officer in the Human Alliance, intercept a distress call when out on a routine mission and quickly initiate an investigation. There's a piece of ancient technology called a beacon there, which apparently has information that everybody wants. Saren, the top Spectre, which is an elite organization that serves the Council on the Citadel, essentially screws everything up, kills a few people, gets the information from the beacon, and leaves on this massive quote-unquote ship. We'll talk more about that in a little while. Basically screws everything up and makes everything very mysterious. After he left, Commander Shepard was exposed to the beacon and got that information, albeit in a very fragmented and bizarre way on account it wasn't really designed to be read by anything other than a Prothean. Protheans are an ancient race that predates the narrative by 50,000 years, and they left behind not only a lot of technology, but a lot of messaging attempting to direct galactic civilization. The ensuing investigation and chasing of Saren revealed that the Protheans actually were exterminated by that ship Saren was on, which wasn't actually a ship, it was a member of a race of machines that archives, and I use that term loosely, the dominant species every 50,000 years. This is getting a little ahead of ourselves, but Saren and this Reaper, who turned out to be named Sovereign, went back to the Citadel with a fairly relentless attack in effort to take control of it. Saren is killed, Sovereign is exposed, and the Navy goes after it, and in a last-ditch effort to close the Citadel around itself, reanimated Saren's corpse, but it didn't work out. Sovereign was destroyed and a lot of people rejoiced over this. However, Commander Shepard was quite aware that this was only the beginning. Everything was intended to go a certain way, but it didn't. And when the Reapers caught wind of this, they essentially changed their plans a bit. Originally, they were going to archive the Asari, which one of Shepard's crew members, Liara Tassoni, was a member of. Liara and Shepard actually worked together to decipher what the beacon was intending to say, and they were the ones that decoded that there was a 50,000-year extinction cycle that the Reapers initiated. The Reapers took Shepard's action as an indicator that humans were the dominant species and decided to shift their focus. However, this was all unbeknownst to all of the Citadel races at the moment. The Citadel Council did not listen to Commander Shepard and Liara Tassoni. They vastly preferred the idea that destroying Sovereign was the end and things were returning to normal. And while that is certainly a preferable idea, it's not the case at all. The Reapers send a race known as the Collectors to attempt to, well, collect humanity. People obviously don't know this, they just view them as an attack, and they actually do kill Commander Shepard in a sneak attack. In a bizarre turn of events, a shady organization known as Cerberus acquired Commander Shepard's body before the Collectors were able to take it back to the Reapers. Over the course of a couple years, they were actually able to reanimate Shepard. Commander Shepard does some work for Cerberus while investigating what's going on even further, and finds out that although Cerberus wants to stop the Reapers, a lot of it is involving human superiority. Cerberus is a very military-oriented organization that regularly assassinates targets that could maybe get in their way. Over the course of the game, you build up a team of elite operatives. Some you knew from before, some are brand new, with the objective of protecting human colonies. Although Cerberus has another objective, which is using Shepard as bait for the Collectors. It works, and the Collectors are about to attack Earth, after which you have to use a relay you found, a red scary relay, to go to the Collectors' base and attempt to stop them. During the course of this action, some may die and they stay dead, depending on your previous choices, but no matter what, you find out that the Collectors are building a human Reaper, which is essentially the end product of the archival archival that the Reapers do. On top of that, the collectors are actually the Protheans that left the beacons all around the galaxy and have been heavily modified by the Reapers in order to essentially become foot soldiers, which, when you find out how advanced the Protheans actually were and what their plot actually was, which was to disrupt this cycle entirely, that's the purpose of the beacons, as well as the purpose of a lot of other actions they took, is kind of ironic but sad. Mass Effect 3 follows a fairly similar plotline as 2, with Shepard needing to unite the galaxy though instead of recruit various operatives. It also follows the desperate search for information that could lead to the ability to stop the Reapers. There's a Prothean archive on Mars, and Commander Shepard makes that his or her business. Through investigation, one finds that a weapon called the Crucible could be constructed that could maybe, in theory, stop the Reapers. So that becomes priority 1, as obviously the Reapers are beginning to arrive and everybody is terrified. Cerberus, being the opportunists they are, decide that it's time to take advantage of them and learn to control the Reapers. This is obviously foolhardy, but that never stopped Cerberus in the first place, now did it? The Alliance eventually realizes that it needs to take Cerberus out, and effectively knows that it is going to start the Reaper War on account they will take notice of massive military action. Shepard and company visit the Cerberus base, where they can find out a whole lot of stuff on the project that brought Shepard back to life, the project that led to the creation of Edie, the Normandy's AI turned robot that loves the pilot, and also with Cerberus's goals of exploiting Reaper technology as well as indoctrination, which is essentially a frequency that brainwashes organic life around the Reapers. Saren was under the influence of it in Mass Effect 1, the Elusive Man comes under its influence during the course of this game, and there's a lot of theories that Commander Shepard does as well. With Cerberus scattered, it's now time to save Earth, and a large battle that feels, frankly, like the apocalypse, if the apocalypse were a battle, wages on the surface. Stuff starts to get pretty shaky here, but towards the end of the battle, a lot of people get injured, possibly killed, depending on preparations once again, and the leader of the Reapers, Harbinger, essentially thinks Commander Shepard's dead. This leads to Shepard, Anderson, and the Elusive Man ending up on the Citadel with a confrontation going down that resulted in, well, Commander Shepard being the only one standing. He then has a conversation with the Catalyst, who was an entity that both created the Reapers and the architect of their purge slash archival slash whatever you want to call it every 50,000 years. Commander Shepard finds out from the Catalyst that the whole thing was created essentially to avoid a conflict that the Catalyst viewed as inevitable, which is the total destruction of organic life by synthetic races that they will ultimately always create. You can choose to destroy the Reapers, control the Reapers, or merge with synthetic DNA. And there's a lot of argument that has taken place over these three choices, as well as the ending in general. Now, there were some things left out because they were based on decisions, and there were some things left out for brevity. Doing something like this with such a sprawling, reaching, massively branching story is not an easy thing to do, but you pretty much have the status of the universe as well as a basic explanation of most of what's going on, and apparently your choices are canon in Mass Effect Andromeda. However, it will not affect the world going on there on account it is a voyage to a different galaxy, the Andromeda Galaxy. The voyage left during the Reaper invasion, specifically during the events of Mass Effect 2. If you'd like to fill in some of the blanks or share some theories that you have about Andromeda, we would love it if you'd spend some time in the comments. I'm sure the discussion will be quite lively because Mass Effect pretty much breeds that. If you enjoyed this video, please click like, and if you're not subscribed, now is a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every single